Hello, everyone. Welcome to Three Things at Three. I've got Melissa with me in the house today.
Guys, I'm so excited to be back.
I'm happy to have you. We did a little matching today, didn't we?
On purpose, right?
Yeah, kind of like that fall vibe, right? Gotta love the little briskness in the air. We're excited. We're totally here for it.
But the afternoons are still hot.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I love it, though.
But I love it too, but I'm like, what should I wear? Like,
not sure.
Yeah.
You know, snowsuit in the morning, and by the time you end of the day, you're in flip-flops.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly.
We're here for it. All right, everyone, we're so happy to have you here. No matter what part of the country you're joining us from, thank you. Thank you so much for coming to Three Things at Three, where theme number one is something to smile about, theme number two is something to learn, and theme number three is something to discover. Let's go. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Three Things at Three. Thank you so much for being here. I'm excited because I've got Melissa with me today. Hello, everyone. And we also have a very special guest on with us today as well. So this week, we've been talking about the difference makers. And there are so many of you out there who are doing so many good things. Have you had a chance to watch this week?
Yeah, I love this week.
It's been really inspiring,
fantastic.
hasn't it
Yeah.
been? Yeah, so definitely, you know, it's one of those things, if you haven't had a chance to go back and look, you know, go back and look. Because it really is some incredible organizations.
Mm-hmm. And it's so inspiring of what one simple idea can do.
Exactly. Sometimes it just starts with just that one little idea, and you never know, you know, big or small, how, you know, the difference it can make, right?
Yeah.
Now, you in particular are very fond of the Little Lambs organization. You kind of have a special connection there, don't you?
Yeah, we've worked there before. I've worked with them a little bit before. So you guys, some of you know that some of my children were adopted.
Yes.
And so they have a half-sister who spent lots of time in foster care. And so this spring, the boys organized a fundraiser, I guess, and gathered pajamas and books and some school supplies to donate.
Wonderful.
It was really fun.
That's fantastic. Really fun. Yeah, so what a great way to, you know, involve your family and especially involve your children in a great organization. So that was highlighted yesterday with Little Lambs. Wow, we've talked about some really great organizations, and today is no different. But before we get to our special guest today, we do want to highlight a few people in our own girlfriend community that are also doing really good things. And so we've got, oh my goodness, I just lost the name. It's, Abby, help me out, please. John and, I'll remember here in just a moment, so sorry. But these two are doing some really great things in their community, and they were a special help to Colleen, who sent their names in. And I believe it's Shelly and John. Someone can help me out here. Okay, but let me tell you, one of the things that they do is that they will actually help people in restoring old quilts. So they spend a lot of time being, you know, even shopping yard sales and estate sales, or helping just a friend like Colleen be able to take a quilt and restore it. And we're talking, oh, Jeff and Sally. I was completely wrong. Thank you, Colleen. Oh my goodness. you know, sometimes I should just write these things down. Okay, Jeff and Sally, thank you, I appreciate that. So Jeff and Sally, they actually, they're so willing to help anyone who has a need. You know, Colleen had these beautiful Dresden fan blocks that, you know, she doesn't even know where they came from, a grandmother, great-grandmother, so forth. And then they were tattered, torn, yellowed, you know, all of you can relate to that. And they were able to really help her create something that was like brand new again. It's pretty amazing.
So beautiful,
isn't
that
it?
they can do that. Yeah, because
So,
the generations more
exactly,
will be
exactly,
blessed
to
by
be
that,
able
yeah.
to restore something, you know, that has been handed down over the years. I think that's an amazing thing, and what a gift. So thank you so much to Jeff and Sally, who do such good things out in the community just by helping restore old quilts. That's incredible. Then we also have Patricia Schaefer, and she was someone that Fern had even talked about, and she just does sewing classes in her home and brings in people from different countries who are here, especially if they have like
It's refugees.
Refugees,
Okay.
spouse, and she's doing so many good things too. So a shout out to Patricia Schaefer, one of our girlfriends out there who is doing good things as well. I just love hearing these stories. You honestly never know what one small act of kindness can do.
Yeah.
All right.
And you don't know who is waiting out there who needs that.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So, you know, all this week we've shared this quote that if each person did one random act of kindness every single day, big or small, that we just might set the world in the right direction. And I think, you know, that just rings so. And sometimes we feel a little overwhelmed and we're not sure where to start. And I just say, start where you're at. You know, open the door for someone, give them a smile, you know, send a text for someone who might need something, and we never know. And I think that really leads us into what we're going to be talking about today, because today we have a very, very special organization that we would like to highlight, and that is called the Peyton Heart Project. And you know, it's only fitting that we talk about this amazing organization because what they do is they work on bringing suicide awareness to be very relevant to all of us. And I think all of us know somebody or who has been affected by death by suicide. Yeah. And it's tragic. And when we talk about the need for, someone might just need that smile, someone might just need that little text that says, hey, I'm thinking about you, I love you, I care about you. It's those small things that can make a huge difference. And so, as it is National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, it's only fitting that we bring on David James, who is joining us live, and he is the founder of the Peyton Heart Project. Hi, David.
Hello. I am one of the co-founders. There were two other ladies that helped.
Okay. Good to know.
I give credit where credit's due, because they kind of came up with the idea, and I contributed afterwards.
Well, I think that's amazing
great.
what you're doing, because this is actually a very, very special cause that touches you directly. Will you tell us more about the Peyton Heart Project and how that name came to be?
Well, it is named after my forever 13-year-old son, Peyton, who we lost in October of 2014 at when he was 13 years old. He came home from school one day and went in his room and attempted to take his life. His mother found him and, called 911, started CPR. And at the time, I had remarried and was living about 150 miles away in the Houston area. Excuse me. And my wife and I drove from Houston to the Austin area. And he is at Dell Children's Medical Center in Austin for about 5 days before we received the news that he was not going to make it. His injury was too severe, and his, basically his brain was dying, and when the brain dies, the rest of you follows.
Yes, it does. I cannot even imagine what you, your family, his friends have gone through. And it's just one of those unimaginable circumstances that you found yourself in, and then what? What comes next?
Basically, I was lost. I needed some way to focus my energy, and originally I started collecting toiletries for the Ronald McDonald House because
Mm.
that's where my wife and daughter and I stayed while Peyton was in the hospital. And if you ever get the chance to contribute to an incredible organization, the Ronald McDonald House is one of them. They do not charge people based on income. You know, if you can't afford to pay, it doesn't matter. If you have a child that's sick, that's undergoing cancer treatment or something, they will find a way to take care of you. And,
Wow.
you know, when you check in, they give you a little, you know, Ziploc bag with, you know, the what looks like hotel shampoo and conditioner and everything in it.
Sure.
And I just thought for somebody that's going through the worst time of their life, that's just one less thing to worry about.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
it started out great. It just kind of overwhelmed me. I was getting so many donations, I had nowhere to store them. And
Mm.
then Jill Cuban and Sue Harris from, you know, I had never met them before. They contacted me through Facebook, came up with the idea of the Peyton Heart Project, and asked if I
Wow.
would, you know, allow them to name it after Peyton. I said, only if I can be part of it.
Well, tell us exactly what the Peyton Heart Project is.
All right. Well, it's kind of, you know, they came up with the idea you take a small handmade heart like this one, and you attach a positive message to it.
Mm-hmm.
And we leave them where people can find them. You know, if I go to the grocery store, I might leave it
Mm.
hanging on a bottle of ketchup, or, you know, if I go to Target or, you know, any other store, I'll leave it hanging on a clothing rack where people can find it. The whole idea
Wow.
being if you're struggling, if you're going through a hard time and you're looking for that sign that somebody out there cares, there it is right there.
Mm.
I always tell people if you find it and you're doing okay, you know somebody that is going through something. Get
Mm.
it in their hands. You know, people need, you know, especially when they're battling mental health issues, they need to know that somebody cares.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they need,
absolutely.
they matter to somebody.
Yeah.
And sadly enough, I bet it's not hard to find. I bet majority of people have some struggle that they're struggling with. That it would brighten anyone's day, really.
I mean, we all go through something, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes we can overcome it. Sometimes we need help.
Sure.
You know, we always encourage people, you know, if you're going through struggles, there's resources available. Use them. Seek help. Find
Absolutely.
someone that's willing to listen. You know, do whatever you can to help yourself. You do not have to go through this alone.
Wow. I think that's one of the most important parts of it is that you do not have to go through this alone. And that's why it takes each one of us to do something, you know, big or small, to send those more positive messages out into the world. And I love what your organization is doing. And so they decided upon a heart. And this started out as a crocheted heart. And to me, I think this represents something even bigger because this heart is handmade.
That is what I was thinking. Is someone is putting heart and soul into making this
Exactly. It's very heartfelt.
Yes.
And so, David, do you have a bag of hearts that you're always carrying with you?
I carry them in my car wherever I go,
Oh,
and
I love that.
we send them out to people if they'll ask for them. You know, they can go to our website, the PeytonHeartProject.org, and there's a place that you can request hearts. The only thing
I
we
love
ask is
that.
that you contribute to the shipping cost. The hearts are free.
Okay.
We never
The
charge
hearts
for
are
them,
free. So,
and shipping
with
is usually $5 to $6.
yeah, and what an amazing thing for people to get, you know, church groups or youth groups or classrooms. I mean, tell us about some of the things you've seen over the years where people are making a difference in doing these hearts.
Recently, I received several thousand hearts that were untagged, and I printed out the tags, I cut them out,
Mm-hmm.
and one of our the Hope Squad at the local high school where I live, the Hope Squad and the PALS class, both worked together to tag about 3,000 hearts for me.
Wow.
And just give it. These kids are incredible. They want to save the world, and they're well on their way.
They are on their
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
I encourage them. I said, take as many as you want
Mm-hmm.
and hand them out. Get them into the hands of other kids. Let them know that they matter.
And I think right there, like, I think
Mm-hmm.
we dismiss how helping other people can help ourselves too.
Exactly.
And when we get outside of thinking
Mm-hmm.
about just us and thinking about other people, that is so
That's a big deal.
healing for people too.
For sure.
Yeah.
Abby, I would.
I'm sorry.
Oh, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Oh, no. You first, David.
Oh, I was going to say the hearts themselves have been found in all 50 states and almost 70 countries throughout the world.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
If you
incredible.
go to our website, down at the bottom of the page, there is a map, and you can look. It's relatively new, so it's still in the process of catching up. But
Uh-huh.
you can see where they have been located and where they've been found. And you can
Oh,
also
I
find
love
that on
this.
the Facebook page.
And there's
Wow.
photographs, and people are sharing these from all over the world, like you said. And to me, that is so uplifting as well. Just being able to see those photos has me, choked up, and knowing that, someone made them and someone received them.
Yeah, I was just wondering, do you ever get people who say, I got this and I needed it at this time? Or do you ever hear things like
Yeah.
that, feedback like that?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, sometimes, when I read the comments, whether it's on Facebook or on the map itself, there's a place where people can comment, and a lot of them are going through that struggle, and it just the heart seemed to find them at the right time.
I
Yeah.
love that.
They do find them at the right time. In fact, Abby, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to have you scroll down a little bit because I'd like to read something that Kathy just shared right there. Our own Kathy, she writes this: I came out of the grocery store a few months ago to find a sticky note on my window that said, "You are so loved." It was on a hard day. It's still in my car, and I read it daily. Again, something so small like that, and yet look at it, what a difference it made for Kathy and in her life. And then I appreciate what Liz shared as well. Or let's scroll down just a little bit, Abby. Okay, right there. Because I know Beth, Elizabeth, there we go. She was at Tug, and she shared this experience with me, and I'm so grateful that she did because it touched my heart so much. She said it's been 28 years, 5 months, 23 days, but who's counting, since I lost my baby sister. And will forever do whatever's needed to give that little hope so no family will ever have to live with the knowledge that I have. Liz, it's that hits really, really right here. So thank you so much for sharing that, being so willing to share that. I love what you're doing, David, and what the Peyton Heart Project stands for. So let's go through 3 things that I want to make sure that everyone understands. And the first part is making the hearts. So we're talking crocheted hearts, knit hearts, yarn hearts. What other hearts?
I've had people make them out of felt. I've had people buy, I don't even know the name of the material. It's like a rubbery type sheet, and they stamp them out.
Okay. And anyone can make them, right?
Anyway,
So, doesn't matter. Anyone. And you shared something with me earlier that really touched my heart, and that was we need to let go of the perfection of the heart, because what is it really about?
it's about, nobody is perfect. You're not perfect. I'm not perfect, and not and the hearts aren't perfect. Some of them are imperfect. They have their flaws. People try to make them, and they may not. It may be the first heart they ever attempted,
Yes.
and that's going to have more meaning than anything. They want to help, and we want people to help. So
I totally agree.
If the best you do is imperfect, then that is what we need.
Yes, absolutely. So anybody and everybody can make a heart. Now I have to share with you a kind of a quick story is that at our recent event, we have a big event, had 200 women from all over the country to it, and it was called Tug. It's the Ultimate Girlfriend Getaway. And I was like, okay, I'm going to teach these ladies how to crochet. It didn't go over the best. Now, some people
She should
really
have
got
known
it.
from the beginning when she tried to teach like
Yeah.
employees who were like, I can't.
But take a look. We have
They're amazing.
all of these
you guys.
hearts
Look at these.
that were turned in at Tug, and they are
Can you see
not all
those?
perfect, but they're beautiful,
They're beautiful.
in every
Like,
way.
Look
And
at these
so,
like multicolored.
exactly. So, I mean, look at these. We have hundreds and hundreds of hearts that were turned in. And at first it was a little scary for some, but some out there are so determined that they are going to make this heart no matter what, because the cause is greater than the frustration of making the heart. However, I'm happy to let you know, because I reached out to David in preparation for this interview, and I said, hey, is there any chance that I could digitize a heart that your organization would be willing to accept? Because we have a lot of people in our community who love machine embroidery. And you said,
I said, of course. And then
of
the
course.
it was incredible.
Yeah. And so we have one.
It was beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And so we have a little digitized heart that is ready for you. And we have it on our website. For those machine embroiderers, you're going to be so happy. You can do 2 in 1 hooping in a 4x4 hoop. And if you have a larger hoop, you can put in as many as you want. So I'm not saying don't give up on the crochet. I'm just saying that if you want to do machine embroider, I have a heart for you. And Melissa and I are going to show you how to do that for theme number 2. But before we head over to theme number 2, let's talk about distributing the hearts once again. So I know you have some rules, if you will, on where you don't want them placed. Would you mind letting us know so everyone's on the same page with this?
Basically, don't, know the rules of where you're going.
Yes.
Some places don't want you hanging things on objects, things like that. If you go to a park or someplace like that out in nature, make sure that you're allowed to leave things like that.
Yes.
Some places they don't want it there, and it's obvious, for obvious reasons.
Sure.
There's wildlife around. We don't want anything to happen. But I always
So
kind of
just be
suggest putting them
mindful.
up high, because just in case a little one finds it,
Uh-huh.
rather an adult take it and check it and make sure it's okay than them grabbing
Sure.
it. And
So we don't want buttons added to them, any small
no
objects.
buttons, no sequin, nothing that can come off and a little one might
Uh-huh.
choke on.
Okay, so that's very important.
Yeah.
Another thing that you emphasize is that we don't want the color black.
Yeah, the symbolic negative connotation of black is,
Yes.
we don't want anything like that. Bright, cheerful colors, something that can be picked out at a distance.
Uh-huh.
If you do scatter them, if you leave them out, put them where people can find them. Something that's going to catch the eye right away.
Yeah.
Don't hide it, don't bury it.
Okay.
Put it out there so that the person that's going through something, that's what they see.
Yes, definitely. I'm already thinking about the places
I
where
know.
I want to put my hearts, and I'm kind of excited about it.
I'm excited. I'm going to take my boys or my kids
Yes.
and do some.
Absolutely. And then there's also the way that you can receive hearts. So let's say you're not a crafter, or maybe you don't have time to do the crafting, but maybe you want to receive the hearts. You can certainly request for hearts. You just pay for shipping, like David mentioned, and then you could distribute them yourself, or you could put them to your children, or to youth groups or whatever, to be able to distribute the hearts. So I'm sure you get lots and lots and lots of donations, right?
Yes, we do. I've actually done several events during this month, and we've been very grateful that people have been very generous.
It's fantastic.
I love that. Okay, and then there's one more thing that's also a very important part of this project, and that is the tag. So tell us a little bit about the tag and why it's important.
Well, I think the tags, one, it's that positive message.
Yes.
Message it reaches a person. It also tells where it's from and how you can reach us.
I love
If you
that.
have questions or if you find it and you want to share where you found it, we tell you how to do that, and
Yeah.
it's really incredible where people find them. The last couple of weeks, I've had people find them in South Africa, Portugal, Canada, Australia.
That's
They're just
amazing. I've got some travel plans coming up here in the next few weeks, and I think I'm just going to make sure I have a bag of them and be able to,
Great idea.
do that. And maybe it might even be just giving it to a complete stranger on the airplane. You just never know.
Airports seem to be a popular place as people. I've known people that travel and take them with them.
Yeah.
And we'll leave them. And I did the same thing this past summer. We went on vacation. I loaded up a bag with hearts, and everywhere we went, I left if I could.
It's pretty
Yeah.
incredible what you've done, David,
Up in
because,
World in San Diego. So
right, I think that's amazing. And what you've done is you've turned just a horrific
Right.
tragedy, like to lose a loved one in that way. I just can't imagine. But Peyton, he is still front and center of your life, as he should be. And I love what you're doing in honor of him.
Yeah.
And if you can help save one life, but just by sharing these positive affirmations, then you have done a world of difference.
exactly. I mean, it's you never know what you're capable of until you try. And anybody that says, "Well, I can't do," you can hand a heart to somebody. You can leave it where somebody can find it. I'm not really the best at going up and handing them to people, but I've gotten really good at just kind of casually leaving it somewhere and walking away.
Oh,
And
I
when I
think
see it
that's
show
pretty
up on our
wonderful.
map, that's really the best feeling.
Absolutely.
It's interesting. I always tell my kids there's one letter difference between being bitter and better, and it's the I in it.
Oh.
And if we focus on ourselves, the I, we become bitter. But if we focus on everyone else, then exactly can happen. What can happen is exactly what you've done. And you're changing the world by focusing on everyone else. And that is just such an incredible thing to be able to do that in such a tragic situation.
Oh, I totally agree, Melissa, that you said that beautifully. Donna is asking, how do we get the tags? We can find them at the Peyton Heart Project.org. And we have a QR code up on the screen right now that you can take a photo of to be taken right to the website, or just go straight to the website and you can learn all about the Peyton Heart Project. It really is amazing. And as I mentioned earlier, it is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. And so we have a special graphic that we would like to share that we are thinking of those of you who are fighting suicidal thoughts, who have perhaps lost someone to suicide, have attempted, love someone who is suicidal, have no support system, or scared to speak up. And I think, what you're doing is a step in the right direction, but absolutely, the more we talk about it and the more we bring attention to it, I think we can make a big difference.
So anybody can help. It doesn't really take a lot of, it doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It can be a small gesture that makes the difference to somebody. I mean, it would be
Absolutely.
great if everybody could write checks for, hundreds or thousands of dollars, but not all of us are capable of that. But we are all capable in our own way of showing kindness to others and, performing a good deed. And sometimes it doesn't, holding a door for somebody, picking up something that they dropped.
Yeah.
Little things like that can make such a difference, especially if somebody's going through a rough time.
Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. And I want to also share this message with everyone as we end this topic for today, is that if you're thinking about suicide or worried about a friend or a loved one or would like emotional support, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline Network is available 24/7 across the United States. 988 is the number. Okay, David, do you have any closing thoughts before we conclude?
Basically, just, I want to thank your community, because it's through people that, the crafty people, the people that want to, the creative people, that this idea came to fruition.
Mm.
And people that go out and, just do little things to help other people with no intention of compensation or recognition, anything like that. That's what this is about. So I was at Fiberfest up in Dallas a couple of years ago, and I had a lady that came by and looked at my booth for a couple of minutes, walked off, and she came back the next day with this little heart that she had made. It's got arms and legs and eyes and everything. He travels everywhere, when I do presentations, when I do, do tabling at events.
Aww.
And, I call him Hartley, kind of a goofy name, but little things like that where, I didn't think I'd really caught her eye, and it apparently affected her enough that she went home and made that for me.
Wow. Well, I think this definitely gives us a lot to think about, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And we all can make a difference. And we appreciate you so much for bringing this to our attention. And I'm so grateful I came across your website. It was something I had not heard of before. And I was trying to think about, who are the difference makers in our community. And I think it was just such a beautiful thing to come across.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share with our community. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that we are better together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for sharing your story.
All right, David. Wow, what a wonderful gentleman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, good things he's doing, and we're so grateful for what he's doing. And so whatever we can do to help support the cause of the Peyton Heart Project, all right, community, let's pull together and let's do something. Let's make some hearts, whether they're crochet, whether they're knitted, or whether they're machine embroidered. We're gonna head over to the sewing table and show you how this machine embroidered little poofy heart comes together. And as we do, let's go ahead and take a look at a review of making the letter blocks from a few weeks ago. Hey, and this is a great way to share hopeful messages out there as well. We're talking about letter blocks today. Spell it with fabric. You can take any letter you want in the alphabet and create that letter, and it gives you all of the dimensions and everything. Why is this triangle look like this? Now we have the two parts of the A, and the rest is so easy. Now complete that and you would have a finished block. All right, my friends, here we are at the embroidery machine. It's one of the things that you love the most. And so we're going to talk about machine embroidered hearts. But before we do, let's take a quick little, recap, go down memory lane, shall we, from a few weeks ago at our tug event. Because this is where we started showing people how to crochet the hearts. And here we go. Look at those happy, happy faces. Many of them were so happy to do this. Many were very nervous about it. They hadn't done crochet before. But what happened was truly amazing, because these ladies all were determined that because of the cause, they still wanted to do their best to learn what they could. And so it was wonderful. We came up with hundreds of hearts, and we're excited to be able to donate those towards the Peyton Heart Project. And you know, I don't know about you, Melissa, but I love doing things with my hands. You know, if I'm watching a TV show or something, I want to be doing
Busy.
something right there
Yes.
with my hands. And so that's why crochet was kind of a big deal. But
And you saw that there, like at
Yes,
dinner and stuff.
yes.
People had it out when they
it was
finished eating.
really
It was fun. Yeah.
really fun to see that. And some of our tug ladies, they, you know, it was like this renewed energy of saying, gosh, I haven't crocheted in years, or I haven't crocheted since I was young. And then it was like this gave them a little
Yeah.
bit new life to going, you know what, I want to pick this up again. This
And
really is a lot of fun.
It's a beautiful thing because it's a project that's going to be one and done. Like
Yes.
it's not something that you're
Yes.
going to have to come back to over
Exactly,
and over
and it doesn't take much time.
It doesn't take much time.
You can honestly do it in just a few minutes, and it doesn't take much space, and it's just yarn. That's all it is. So if you're wanting a crocheted heart pattern, head over to the PeytonHeartProject.org. They have some crochet patterns on there that you can download and be able to do it. But it really is a very, very simple heart. So today, rather than focusing on the crochet, I thought, you know what, let's focus on this little brand new machine embroidered heart that we've put together for you here at my girlfriend's quilt shop. So let's take a look right down here so we can get an up close of this. And this one, again, has the tag. Now, one thing we didn't mention, but I should definitely mention this, is that they are requesting that you print out the exact tag that is on their website. So they really don't want us to do any altering. They have lots of different affirmations on here, but then they have this important information on the back. So if you're going to do these and distribute them, please, please, please do what they're asking by downloading the specific tag that is found on their website. All right, so you can see here that this is made with very little fabric and a little bit of felt, and I'm going to show you today how to actually stuff it with a little bit of stuffing, because you know, I don't know about you, but I think fuller hearts are always better. Get it? All right, so how do you do this? So this is where you can make 2 hearts in one hooping. It's a 4x4 hoop. I have hooped light tearaway stabilizer in there all by itself, and then I'm going to have Melissa take a piece of felt and she's going to place it right down there on top of the stabilizer and begin to stitch out.
Okay.
All right, so the first thing that's going to stitch out is a placement outline for where the 2 hearts go. So very, very simple to do. All right, we've got the lever down, nice job. And now just go ahead and put the presser foot down and start. Okay. Now, one of the things I would also recommend when doing this project is I would change my bobbin thread to match the same color as my top thread. All right. So there's 1 heart, and now we have the second heart. Again, for those of you who have you know, larger hoops, you could put more than one of these in a hoop, and you'd be able to get a whole bunch of them done at once, which would be pretty cool. All right. Okay, so now that that has been stitched out, the second step, go ahead and we're going to leave it in the machine. We're going to take a piece of fabric and just place it over top of the placement outlines. Again, very, very simple to do. Let's put our presser foot down and start. What's stitching out now is what is called the tack down stitch. And this is just basically holding the fabric in place. What do you think, Melissa?
This is I was kind of intimidated by this machine.
Yeah,
this is fun.
But it's kind of fun,
Yeah.
isn't it? It really isn't too hard to do. So again, using just minimal scraps is pretty awesome. So let's see, Stephanie asked, I guess you could use 100% cotton instead of felt. You could, it would have frayed edges, which is fine too. So I liked using the felt because I just wanted to be able to, you know, have a nice clean edge. All right, at this point we're gonna pull the hoop out of the machine. So we're gonna lift the lever and pull it out. Oh, thanks Connie, she's letting us know the embroidery foot is unplugged in the back. It's a good thing it still worked pretty
yeah.
well, but do you see that little plug back there?
enough.
Okay, so let's
Where am I plugging
head
this
right
in at?
here, and we're going to trim this up. All right. I'm just gonna take my little pair of scissors
I should
and
just get up and
trim
move.
close to the stitch line.
There we go.
Do you see how fast these go together? I mean, they really are very, very simple. Okay, and then I'm going to go here. Now the next stitch that's going to happen is a little blanket stitch. I decided to digitize a blanket stitch rather than a satin stitch, just because the stitch out will be even faster. All right, there we go. So yes, Deborah is asking if the pattern will be in the club as well as the website. Yep, it's in both places. So club members, you'll find it very handy to have it right there in your library. Look how cool that stitch is.
This is fantastic because it's perfectly done too, and I'm like, oh, look how hard I worked.
You absolutely did work hard on that. Are you kidding me? All right. So yeah, the blanket stitch on the embroidery machine is pretty sweet for sure. And you can use a matching color thread, or you can make it pop and have something completely different, right? Is that your husband?
Oh, what's he saying? I don't even see a comment. I don't know who that is.
Someone
Don't
say
know who
Melissa
that
smile
is.
pretty. Okay, go ahead and lift that lever up and we'll do that.
Do I
All
look
right.
intimidated by this? Like, oh.
Okay, let's take a look. So you can see that this is stitched out. We are almost done. The next step is to turn this over to the back side, and now we're going to place our second piece of felt on the back. And I'm going to take a little piece of paper tape and just put it at the top and bottom. And so this is just something to hold it in place because Melissa's going to put it back in. And you're going to notice that it's going to stitch the outline. However, it's going to leave a small opening on both of them. And that's where we're going to put the stuffing. All right. So Janet has a question that we'll answer. She said, I want to make sure I understand this because I would like to make these hearts. I make the hearts, attach a tag from the Peyton Heart org, and I can leave them anywhere. Is that right? That is correct, yes. You can leave them anywhere you want. They were just asking not in national parks and things like that, but airports, the grocery store, I don't know, just maybe hanging on a tree somewhere.
Even I'm thinking like, if you come out of a grocery store and there's one like on your car,
Yes.
like how happy would that be?
That would be a really happy feeling to see something like that. So yes, Janet, absolutely. That's exactly what you'll do. All right. Okay, so we've got one that is finished with that outline. And again, you'll notice as it stitches out that it's doing, I digitize it for a sashiko stitch, which kind of gives a little bit more of a hand look to it. And then it does leave an opening, and we're going to stuff that heart here in just a moment. Patty said a little library would be a great place to leave them. Maybe make a heart bookmark. Oh, that's so cute too.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh, Janet said she passes so many elderly men and women by themselves. I would love to walk up and hand that to them and pat them on the shoulder. Oh, I love that. Deborah, color doesn't matter except for the color black. That's the only color that they ask us not to do is the color black. Great question, but any colors you want will work great. All right, let's take a look back at the table here because I want to show you how to stuff the heart. What I want you to do is you're just going to bring it over to the back side. And this is where I don't want this, it's not tricky, but I just want to make sure and let you know. See how I left the openings right here? Well, this opening is going to be a little tricky to get to unless I make a cut just down the center, just kind of separating those two hearts. Okay, so it feels a little tricky, but it's very doable. I promise. You can see I'm doing it right here. Okay, and that's just going to separate these. Now, do you have to stuff the hearts? No, you don't have to, but I think they're kind of cute stuffed. So if you didn't want to stuff the hearts, you would just skip that step and then just finish the heart. All right, so here's a little bit of stuffing. You don't want too much, just a little bit. And I'm just kind of putting it right through that hole. You could take a chopstick or some kind of, you know, an arcade turning tool, something like that, and just be able to push that in. A crochet hook would work, yes. Yes,
Use
for
that
sure.
for something good, right?
Exactly. There you go. Yeah, there is an organization called I Found a Quilted Heart, which is really sweet too. All right. So all good things, right? We love all the places that we can help with. Okay, so again, not too stuffed, but stuffed enough that it gives a little bit of poof. And now we're on the last step, my friends. So go ahead, it's going to finish and complete where the opening of that heart was. These take so little time that, I mean, you could get so many done at the same time. Melanie has a good question. Would puffy foam under the heart work instead of stuffing? Yeah, you could do that as well. Yeah, you definitely could do that. Okay, and this is stitching out the final heart. And then it's done. And you've got two hearts at once. Okay, so we're going to pull this out of the machine. And here are a couple of final thoughts on this. We're going to pop this out of the hoop. And before you actually cut the hearts out, the first thing I want you to do is to rip out the tearaway stabilizer. All right, and then this way it's not going to get caught in the seam. All right, so just tear that away. It'll come apart very easily. All right, and now at this point, go ahead and take a small pair of scissors, and you're just going to trim about 1/8 of an inch outside of that sewn line. Okay, just like this. Pretty simple. All right, and you're going to do both of them. And then the final step is just to go ahead and add on the little tag. And so in order to do that, and actually here's another thing that they request. They request when adding the tags that you put it at the top center. All right, top center of the heart, not to the side, but top center. And then again, please make the tag, print this off, and then you're able to put that on. So the tags are really sweet. I mean, they all have different sayings like every breath a gift, embrace your beautiful life, embrace your imperfections, embrace your quirks, capture the beauty in every moment, measure your life in love. Challenges are invitations to grow, bloom with grace. I mean, there's so many different ones. And you know what the other really neat thing about this is that they have them in so many different languages too. So if you happen to be going to another country and you want to make these and print them out in the language of that country.
I did not realize that.
Yes.
That is a really cool
Isn't that incredible?
thing that they've done, yeah.
So I love that idea too. So what do you think? Are you on board? Are you team crochet
Come
or
on, you
team
guys.
embroidery? Like,
You know you're in. You know you're in.
I hope you're in, and I hope you get everyone else involved in this too. This is definitely a grassroots movement that David James and the two other women who started this. It's a nonprofit organization. It's all done completely volunteer. So let's go ahead and share this
Support
with
him.
the world
Yeah,
and
let's
support
support this
David
cause.
James and support the fact that, he lost his son, and that's just the unimaginable. And I think all of us can relate in one way or another. And
Right, it's really sad that I think every single person can say they've been
have
touched
been
in
touched
some
by
way.
this. And so I think it's important that we talk about it, we share it. And if you enjoyed today's episode, I really, really hope that you'll share today's 3 at 3. Share it with your quilt guild, share it with your friends and family. Everyone can make a heart, whether you're crafty or a DIYer or not. If you can cut out a heart, you can make a heart. So we encourage everyone to do it. All right. Well,
This has been fun, Kris.
thank you. I think I'm inspired to do better.
No, this
I love
you like that?
yeah.
Yeah.
When you talked about bitter and better,
Yeah.
I'm on team better. That's where I want to be for sure. So, all right, we'll go ahead and wrap things up for theme number 2. Moving on to theme number 3. And as we do so, let's take a quick look at the Baby Lock Radiance.
In a world where memories are stitched with love, there's a new way to weave your story into every thread. Sarah has a vision, longing to recreate the cherished moments of her own childhood for her granddaughter. Sarah wants to carry on the tradition, but is challenged to find the time to do that work by hand. Until now. Introducing the Baby Lock Radiance, the ultimate companion for every seamstress, embroiderer, quilter, and creator. With its revolutionary projector, now larger than ever, you can envision your design before you even begin to sew, ensuring perfect placement every time. With the largest embroidery area and sewing workspace, the possibilities are endless. Seamlessly stitching patterns together, the Radiance creates a flawless finish every time. And with projected guidelines every 15 degrees, precision has never been easier. Plus, with built-in stitch regulation, you're set up for quilting success for a variety of techniques. But the magic doesn't stop there. With Picture Play, you can turn your favorite memories into stunning embroidered masterpieces you can cherish forever. The new Baby Lock Radiance, lighting the path of innovation. Start stitching your story today.
All right. Okay, friends, that wraps us up for this week of all about the difference makers. And, you know, our challenge to each of you is to become a difference maker. I know many of you already are. Keep doing what you're doing. This is an important work that we're all a part of. So let's keep putting those positive influences out in the world, shall we? We got this.
And it's
We got
contagious.
this. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So join us in that effort. We'd be very grateful. And just as a reminder, to find out more about this important project, please go to the Peyton Heart Project.org. You can learn even more about what this organization does, how you can get involved, how you can get everyone else involved. And if you would like to be able to download the free machine embroidery design for this heart, you can find that on our website. So just check under new releases. It'll also be in the club for club members. We would love it if you shared this with everyone you know. If you have a group that loves to machine embroider, say, hey, go ahead and download this. It's free, and it's a good it's for a good cause. So we would love that. All right, so you can find it on our website. And just a couple of final reminders as we end this week is that the 30th is the last day to get in on that tug special pricing for those of you who are wanting those incredible deals on the Baby Lock Altair 2, as well as the Baby Lock Triumph. They're amazing, so give us a call,
Right,
435
stop sitting on this, just go.
213-3229. Exactly. You tell them, Melissa.
Go,
No, do it. It's a big deal. So definitely
It's a
by the
no-brainer on
30th,
this one.
for sure.
Right?
And then we also want to remind you that we have hot cocoa concoctions coming up next week. If you've got a special recipe for hot cocoa, we want to hear about it. So if it's really weird, even better.
I know, I'm excited for this.
I can't wait. I'm really excited for
Yeah.
the projects that we're doing next week as well. So please send us an email, info@mygirlfriendsquiltshop.com. And we have another call out. Are you ready for this? Pretty soon we're going to be talking about all things autumn. And so we want to see photos of what's happening in your neck of the woods. So the leaves are changing. We want to see your fall photos and showcase them on an upcoming 3 at 3 show, because we certainly are falling in love with autumn. So please send those pictures, whatever state you're in. We want to see where they're coming from.
Have you been in the canyon
Oh
recently?
my goodness, yes,
Yeah.
the canyon is starting to be gorgeous.
It's beautiful. It
So
is.
please, please,
is beautiful.
please send in your photos. We want to share them here in a couple weeks. So you can send them to info@mygirlfriendsquiltshop.com. Thanks so much, Melissa, for
Yeah, it's been
hanging
fun.
out with me today.
It's been
And
fun.
thank you, everyone, for being here all this week. We appreciate it more than you know. All right, friends, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up. Keep doing all the things that you love. These are the things that bring us joy. So keep doing it. And we hope to see you again real soon. Bye-bye.
Go change the world.